So it's 10 p.m. and we've just arrived in Rome, which makes me very happy. The city seems very peaceful and quiet right now. This is the view from our room.
Our apartment was located in the center of Rome, perfect for exploring the city. It was a small but a very stylish place.
This time we're running in the center of Rome.
Hopefully I burned enough calories to deserve some carbs.
After a morning jog.
Yeah, we had a morning jog around Pantheon.
Very nice after
I'd like to go actually to Pantheon and have a look inside.
Yeah.
After breakfast, it was time for a walking tour.
What you have in front of you is the only church in Rome with a pagan name. It's called Santa Maria sopra Minerva. St. Mary's above the Temple of Minerva. So it was a pagan temple, and then they built a church on top. We discovered that the world revolves around the sun, etc., and all that. The church didn't like that, burnt him to death, 17th of February 1600. Another great man, Galileo, was put on trial here, but he was cleverer, as he denounced his own theories as being false. They had no reason to kill him and put him under house arrest. Oh look, we have two more people joining us.
We were just talking about ginger women being burnt on the stake.
We just missed that, so well, at least they have to do the whole... God, look, that's it, they've left now. They have to do the whole tour before we do that. Or if someone's Scottish, just start mentioning Hadrian's Wall, you know. Rome is the place with the most amount of obelisks in the world, original. It's about 13 of them. One was given back to Gaddafi a few years ago, but then he just left it in the desert. You put your finger in your belly buttons, trust me.
Oh, now, sorry, I meant when we go to the forum or something.
Never trust the man who says trust me. So this is the centre of your body, and it's the beginning of your life. No? That's enough. Sometimes people do the whole tour.
Yeah, he never said stop.
Done that bit. So if you look at a classical statue, the perfect body, a Greek statue, the belly button is exactly the middle. So the urban centre of Rome is where Rome began, but it's also where all the roads lead to. So in Latin, the word means beginning and centre. Das umbilicus. Happens to also be the gateway to Hades. Maybe you've heard of Hades, the pagan underworld, or hell. Don't want to go there. So what's it got to do with this? Well, this is the exact spot where Romulus, mythical founder of Rome, was struck by lightning, and he went straight to the heavens. So it's a kind of gateway to heaven. But usually there's a man over there playing Stairway to Heaven. Just when I mentioned that, he's on holiday. So built in 12 AD, it's the best preserved classical Roman temple, Pantheon, temple of all the gods. Partially burnt during the reign of Claudius, rebuilt by Hadrian, 113 to 118. If you think of the gods, practically all of the Roman gods were physically the same as Greek, just changed the names. So Zeus became Jupiter, Poseidon will become Neptune. It all comes from the Greeks. The only difference is, as far as society itself, you could say the Romans brought in a much more sophisticated military tactics. They were much more sophisticated also as far as building. They were great engineers. In fact, every legionnaire, every soldier had a double function. He was a stone cutter, a bricklayer, or a carpenter. So they would build the big roads up towards where they wanted to conquer. Then they'd kill people, build infrastructures, open up a nightclub, fruit machines, and then move on all the way up through Northern Europe. And then Great Britain, Scotland, they thought, we're not going there. Bearded ladies. Let's go back home for Christmas. Even if Christmas hadn't been invented. Just get out of here. In fact, they say Hadrian's Wall, you've all heard of Hadrian's Wall, yeah? It's an ancient Roman wall that separates England from Scotland, built by the Romans. They say that it took so long to build because the Romans were waiting for the Scots to build.
It's like Donald Trump.
Come forward a bit and then bend two. So you look like two surgeons at the operating table. Sausages. You have a column of bricks at the top, the cross section of an arch. See? So that's what's going on behind all of these arches, to sustain and distribute the weight of the Pantheon. It's all about arches. Those arches were part of when they built it. Let's not forget the Greeks didn't have any round temples because they didn't have arches. And cement and the brick. The brick came in around 50 before Christ, at the time of Julius Caesar. So down there, 2,000 years ago, we'd have been down there with our beautiful white flowing togas in the wind.
Oh.
You're there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Looking up to the Pantheon. Now we look down upon it because with natural erosion, everything is washed down from the hills to its lowest point, and thus accumulated around the structure. So buildings have been knocked down and other buildings built upon the foundations of previous buildings. Rome's a bit like a lasagna. The more you dig down, the more
Walking tours are a great way to explore the city if you don't have a lot of time, as you can absorb a lot of knowledge that way.
We have just moved from one part of Rome to another, going to our hotel, which is just opposite of Colosseum. So we're just looking for the entrance.
Our room was on the 5th floor of an old building. We took an old school lift to get up there. The hotel was advertised as having the view of the Colosseum, but you would need to risk falling out of the window to lean over to see it.
We never had such long holidays, and now we can really experience. Do you feel like that or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I never had that before.
Absolutely. I feel like we've really done a lot already. There's still 9 days.
Yeah.
So we are on day 5.
Yeah.
We have 9 days left.
I feel like Rome is amazing. Like, look at this. It's like ancient Rome is like right in front of you. It's crazy.
It is impossible to do a proper tour of Rome in just a few days. To explore Rome properly, I would recommend spending at least 4 or 5 days in the city. Rome has so much to offer in terms of history, art, architecture, food and culture. The Colosseum, the Pantheon, the Roman Forum, the Vatican City and the Trevi Fountain are only few of the main attractions worth visiting. Normally I wouldn't recommend driving around Rome, but the city was much more quiet than usually, as there were much fewer tourists because of the recent COVID wave. A great but quite expensive way to explore the city is to hire an electric scooter. After a short trial, Nelly decided she doesn't want to risk getting around the Rome streets on a scooter and decided to jog alongside me instead. We arrived at the headquarters of Knights of Malta on Aventine Hill in Rome. This is a unique and lesser known attraction in Rome that's worth visiting. There is a keyhole that's located on the green door of the building, and when you look through it, you'll see a perfectly framed view of St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. It's an interesting experience and a great photo opportunity. Next, I rode down to Giardino degli Aranci, and once again Nelly followed me with her favorite way of traveling, running. Giardino degli Aranci, also known as the Orange Garden or Parco Savello, is a beautiful public park located on the Aventine Hill in Rome. The park offers stunning views of the city, including the Tiber River, St. Peter's Basilica and the Dome of the Pantheon. The Orange Garden is famous for its fragrant orange trees, which were planted in the 1930s. Visitors can walk through the garden and enjoy the scent of oranges, while taking the panoramic views of Rome. The garden also has a terrace with a small cafe, where visitors can relax and enjoy a drink or a snack, while admiring the views. One of the highlights of the Orange Garden is the view of the dome of the nearby church of Santa Sabina. The church, which dates back to the 5th century, is one of the oldest and most important churches in Rome. The park is open daily and admission is free. It's a great place to relax and enjoy the beauty of Rome away from the crowds of the city center.
We're having a tomato and tuna burger and a cheeseburger, and the cheeseburger is already amazing. I said, in fairness, you said you're not going to order ketchup. So this tuna is amazing, and these are like really homemade, properly cut potatoes. And this is our view, by the way.
The drive from Rome to Naples covers a distance of approximately 225 kilometers and takes around 2 to 3 hours depending on traffic. While the drive itself is relatively straightforward, there are several interesting sights and attractions along the way that are worth stopping for. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to do that, so we may tell you more about them on our next visit. When we arrived, we experienced meeting the most generous hosts ever. Shiro spent 30 minutes explaining to us all the best places we should see in Naples and left us a welcome gift, a fridge full of beers and wine. The view from the balcony was truly unbelievable. We were just on the bottom of the Vesuvius volcano. When I said our hosts were the most generous people we've ever met, we actually meant it. They even offered to wash and iron our clothes. We only met these people and we already felt like we were visiting a family. If you are ever in Naples, I really recommend you check out this place. As per the owner's recommendation, we drove to located 50 kilometers south of Naples, Sorrento. The drive takes about an hour depending on the traffic. However, there are several scenic viewpoints along the way where you can stop and take in the stunning views. Naples has a very unique atmosphere. It's vibrant, chaotic and full of energy. It's got a reputation for crime and poverty, but we love the rough and real feel it had. It is very different than polished and beautiful streets of Rome, but yet there was something very magnetic about it. I stopped to take a few shots of the coast. The historic center of Sorrento is a maze of narrow streets and alleyways that are lined with beautiful, colorful buildings and small shops selling local crafts and souvenirs. One of the most famous streets is Via San Cesario, which is home to many of the town's best shops and restaurants. Sorrento is famous for its production of limoncello, a sweet lemon-flavored liquor that's made from locally grown lemons. It's got a rich history that dates back to ancient times. The town was once a popular resort for wealthy Romans, who were attracted to its mild climate and stunning scenery. Today, visitors can explore many ancient ruins and landmarks, including the Roman ruins of Villa Pollio and the ancient walls that surround the old town. We ended up in one of the local restaurants, and I decided to order pizza with sausage and fries, thinking it was a joke for tourists. As it turned out, it was simply a food that children usually order. The joke was actually on me this time. After my highly satisfying, childish meal, we drove back to our new family, Shiro and Paola. When we arrived, it was completely dark, but we weren't ready to sleep yet. We were planning the following day. Our goal was to see a few places where our favorite TV series, The Sopranos, was filmed. We decided to watch the only episode of the series that was shot in Naples, the 4th episode of the 2nd season, when Tony, Paulie and Christopher visited Italy. If you are not a Sopranos fan, please unsubscribe immediately. I'm only joking, please don't. In the morning, once again we realized how amazing our hosts were, baking fresh pastries for us and treating us like royalties.
So we are just on the bottom of the volcano. Good luck to us.
Today there were 3 things on our agenda. First was a stop at the bottom of Vesuvius. We didn't intend to climb to the top of it, as it would take too much time that we didn't have. The second was to visit and film a few locations that we saw in the episode of Sopranos we mentioned. The third thing was to visit one of the oldest pizza places in Naples, home to this amazing dish.
Wow, we even managed to fit in a bus trip on our journey.
Take a coffee and then you can come back.
Mount Vesuvius is a famous volcano known for its devastating eruption in 79 AD, which buried the Roman cities of Pompeii. It is one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, with a history of violent eruptions. Its last major one was in 1944. Vesuvius is located at around 1,281 meters. Despite being an active volcano, around 600,000 people live within the immediate proximity of Vesuvius, which makes it one of the most densely populated volcanic areas in the world. In 1995, Vesuvius was declared a national park, and it attracts millions of tourists each year who come to admire its beauty and learn about its fascinating history. Naples is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, with a history that dates back to 9th century before Christ. It's got more than 400 historic churches, including the famous Naples Cathedral, which is dedicated to the city's patron, Saint Generius. Naples is renowned for its cuisine, which includes pizza, pasta and seafood dishes. The city is also famous for its coffee culture, and the Neapolitan espresso is known worldwide.
So we are in Piazza Giuseppe Gibraltari, where one of the episodes of Sopranos was filmed. And I think, if I remember correctly, Paulie was walking around here.
Naples has a vibrant street life and is famous for its lively and colorful markets, such as Pigna Secca Market and the Mercato di Porta Nolana. Naples is home to many stunning architectural landmarks, such as Royal Palace of Naples, the Castel dell'Ovo and the Castel Nuovo. Naples has a rich cultural heritage, and is home to several museums and art galleries, including the National Archaeological Museum, which houses a large collection of artifacts from Pompeii. We were most interested in the few places that we saw in The Sopranos. One of them was the Excelsior Hotel.
We're outside the hotel where Tony and his crew arrived and stayed when they visited Naples.
The Excelsior Hotel in Naples is a luxury hotel located on the waterfront of the Bay of Naples, near the famous Castel dell'Ovo. It was originally built in 1908 as a luxury hotel for wealthy travelers visiting Naples. The building was designed by architect Luigi Broggi, who also designed the famous Galleria Umberto I in Naples. Over the years, the Excelsior Hotel hosted many famous guests, including movie stars, politicians, and royalties. Some notable guests have included Sophia Loren, Audrey Hepburn, Princess Diana, and the former US President Bill Clinton. In 1946, the Excelsior Hotel played a key role in the post-World War II era as the site of the signing of Treaty of Peace with Italy, which officially ended Italy's involvement in the war. The treaty was signed in the hotel's Grand Ballroom by representatives of Italy and the Allied powers, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. The signing of the treaty marked the beginning of the new era for Italy and the restoration of democracy and economic stability in the country. Today, the Excelsior Hotel is still a symbol of luxury and hospitality in Naples and continues to host high-profile events and guests from all around the world. It is still considered one of the most prestigious hotels in Naples, with 122 rooms and suites, many of which offer stunning views of the Bay of Naples and Mount Vesuvius. The hotel is also home to several restaurants and bars, including the Michelin-starred Terrazza Busquets, which serves traditional Neapolitan cuisine with a modern twist. Walking around Naples can be a unique and exciting experience that can last lasting impressions on visitors. The sounds of car horns, street vendors, and conversations in Italian fill the air, creating a lively and energetic atmosphere. Naples is a city with narrow, winding streets, and it can be easy to get lost or disoriented while walking around. However, getting lost in Naples can be an opportunity to discover hidden gems and experience the city's unique charm. This time, we have taken a metro to go to the other side of the city to see more landmarks from The Sopranos.
That was a good idea. So refreshing. And this is the last of the locations we are visiting from the Soprano set. This is where Paulie sat. We think it's here because you can see the sign at the end. And there was this bullet hole that's covered with a poster, and there were no markings on the metal parts. But this is where he sat and drank his coffee when he was discovering the rudeness of Neapolitans in the movie, obviously.
L'Antica Pizzeria di Michel has a reputation of one of the oldest and most respected pizza places in Naples and in the world. The restaurant was founded in 1870 and has been run by the same family for generations. It was made famous by the book and a starring Julia Roberts movie, Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. It remains a popular destination for both locals and tourists and can be quite crowded, especially during peak hours. We arrived almost an hour before opening and there were already few people in the queue.
Are you excited about eating your pizza?
Babes, this is enough for a family of 5. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness.
I have to say, the cheese on this pizza is the best thing I've ever eaten. What a mess.
The pizza is very delicious. It has a nice amount of salt. It's very tasty. It's enormous. It's like for I think it could be 4 people.
That's how many people are waiting in the queue. Try it.
And they're waiting. Everybody gonna have to eat those.
Yeah. It was worth trying, of course. It was the best pizza I've ever eaten. I don't know. It was definitely very good. The cheese was amazing. The cheese is the best part. Overall, I would give it an 8.
Yeah, me too.
It was time to leave Naples and head towards the east coast of Italy. The last couple of days were some of the most magical and memorable experiences we have in our life. We were struck by the warmth and hospitality of the locals, who welcomed us with open arms and made us feel at home. From the timeless beauty of Rome to the vibrant streets of Naples, we were captivated by the rich history and culture of these two iconic Italian cities. In the next episode, we will share with you the beauty of Ancona, San Marino, Venice and Milan. If you like to follow our adventures, please like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate every one of you.